It was a day of devastation that brought a community together. 1 year later, live from the heart of West Alabama, a WVUA special report, Rebuilding Tuscaloosa.
Tonight on this special edition of the News at 10, a special report on businesses along 15th Street that are still trying to rebuild a year later. Also ahead, the Tuscaloosa City School System receives thousands of dollars from a company close to home that wants to help damaged schools. And good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the special edition of the News at 10 tonight. I'm John Huddleston. We will get to the news of the day in just a moment, but first, a word about where we are broadcasting from this evening. All week, we are marking the one-year milestone of the April 27th tornado with special coverage, and tonight we are coming to you live from the Forest Lake neighborhood. On April 27th, take a look at what this neighborhood looked like just moments after the tornado roared through. Battered homes, the lake itself filled with debris, people walking around with little that they had left. Homes were completely destroyed. Nearby businesses were hit too, including Mike and Ed's Barbecue, Gilda's Salon, and McAllister's are just some of the spots on 15th Street that suffered damage. Almost a year later, this is what the neighborhood looks like now. Cleanup crews are about to begin removing debris from the lake, and some residents who have lost their homes have started the process of rebuilding. But there are still some places where there are no signs of rebuilding. And take a look at this safe room here. It was completed just before the tornado. It was the only thing left after the storm hit the family's home, and it is still standing a year later. Now, where we are stationed tonight is just a few hundred yards away from 15th Street. As we have mentioned, many of the businesses in that area and McFarland Boulevard took heavy damage. Many are slowly showing signs of recovery, while others have yet to break ground on their new sites. WVUA's Travis Leader talked with several owners, and he has an update on their progress.
Here's the story of 3 Tuscaloosa businesses rebuilding after last April's tornado. Full Moon Barbecue, Krispy Kreme, and Express Oil Change. All 3 have faced delays in reopening, but all 3 owners expect to be fully operational by the end of summer. We start with Full Moon. The first thing you may notice is the new home for the restaurant is on the other side of McFarland Boulevard. Owner Brian Ahmed says the biggest struggle for his business coming back was his unsuccessful talks with his previous landlord.
The landlord, our previous landlord at the Wood Square, was not able to give us a time frame or a timeline when he could let us rebuild.
Ahmed is a strong supporter of the city's rebuilding strategy. He believes Tuscaloosa leaders have been pro-business when it has come to getting Full Moon up and running again.
The city, wants us to be successful. They want us to have a great building, so they're very helpful in the process.
Full Moon's neighbor on McFarland Boulevard will be former McFarland mainstay Krispy Kreme. Owners were hoping to be back in business by the end of 2011, but Evan Smith says he hopped numerous hurdles just to break ground on the new site.
We had so many issues with the flooding of this creek, widening of McFarland Boulevard, whether to close or leave open the 7th Avenue East.
But when it came to a site plan, Smith feels the city did not delay the donut shop's progress.
I need to brag on the city. They kind of work with us every day through every step. So when we submitted our plans, it was there, it was ready, it was approved, and we were rolling.
You drive a couple blocks down 15th Street at the intersection of Dr. Edward Hillard, and you get to the site of where Express Oil Change once stood. President John Carney meets with employees every Thursday afternoon, updating on the business's progress and paying them with insurance money. Owners felt the business could have returned as soon as students came back for fall semester. But Carney feels some of the delays are because he has been at the city's mercy through the entire process.
We've had to give the city right-of-ways on both sides. We've given away property. We've given away our entrance. We've given away our building materials. And, we're ready to put that behind us and just go forward. It is what it is, and we're just ready to get started.
Carney feels the city is missing the point. The businesses that once existed in the area were there for a reason. They prospered along the 15th Street corridor.
There are no fly-by-night businesses that were here, and everyone was successful in their own right. And all anybody ever wanted to do was get back what they had that the storm took away.
Despite Carney's struggles, he is hopeful his business will be back before summer's end. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
And in response to some of Kearney's complaints, City Planning and Development Director John McConnell says the express oil change was subject to various regulations dating back to before the storm and to the temporary building standards the city has enacted since. Meanwhile, an update to another business along 15th Street came at tonight's Tuscaloosa City Council meeting. After being tabled 9 times, the council, with the recommendation of Incident Command, voted to demolish what was the Emergicare Health Clinic. Since the storm, Emergicare has been treating patients at a temporary location on Skyland Boulevard. The attorney representing the owner, Dr. Philip Bobo, tells us they plan to rebuild at the old location once it is demolished and once they settle their differences with the insurance company. Meanwhile, obviously, we hope a disaster like this never happens again, but it's never a bad idea to be prepared just in case. And with that in mind, the West Alabama Regional Commission presented the Business Preparedness Toolkit to business leaders at the Tuscaloosa Public Library. The toolkit is designed to help businesses begin the process of creating continuity and preparedness plans and has ideas of how to stay in business following a disaster. The WARC's Max Snyder says it's important for businesses to be prepared.
I know this week is pretty fresh in everybody's mind, but over time the awareness will go down. And we've got to be able to get out there to the community and know that this could happen any minute. Yeah, it happened last year. It might not happen this year. It's been a slow spring, but it could happen again next year. There's always this threat, and it's not just tornadoes, it's any type of event, man-made or natural.
And for more information, just go to our website and click on the numbers and links section. That's WVUATV.com. From there, you can navigate to the Commission's website. And businesses and people are not the only ones that can be affected by Mother Nature. If you're familiar with the Forest Lake area, you have probably noticed a group of residents who are used to making their presence known. We are, of course, talking about the Forest Lake ducks. And we are happy to report, despite the damage to the neighborhood in Forest Lake, a frequent fisherman of Forest Lake, Gregory Barnes, says the ducks are thriving. He says there are all types calling the lake their home, and there are 14 baby ducks who have just joined the flock in the past few days.
Like nothing got abandoned, just homes not here, but you can rebuild them homes, So as far as life's concerned, yeah, it's all right, like it's coming back. They came back and brought some more with them.
Some good news there. In other news tonight, 3 Tuscaloosa City schools are receiving checks to help teachers replace supplies and equipment lost in the April 27th tornado. Mercedes-Benz U.S. International donated $30,000 to the Tuscaloosa City school system. Alberta Elementary and University Place Elementary middle schools will all receive $10,000 each. The money comes from funds originally set aside from a plant-wide family day, but after polling their workers, the workers decided instead to give the money to tornado relief. Mercedes Felicia Gerald says they have 28,000 employees that live in the Tuscaloosa area, so this was an easy decision for the workers.
They work here, they live here, the children go to school here, and so it's very important for us to be able to help to rebuild this community where we live and we love and where we work. We're just proud to be a part of this area, and we just want to give back the best way that we can.
And Gerald says last year they weren't ready to celebrate Family Day after everything that happened, and she's proud of her coworkers who chose to give back this year. And a reminder, we will be live all week from different spots along the tornado path. Tomorrow, we're live from Alberta City, and Thursday, we're in the Holt community. It will all wrap up on Friday when we broadcast the city's memorial service live from Coleman Coliseum. We'll have special coverage from 4 to 7:30 Friday, and we have more special reports that will air throughout the week right here on WVUA News. And another programming note, be sure to join WVUA, Alabama's home team, for a special presentation dedicated to everyone touched by the April 27th storms. Our hour-long documentary, Faces of the Storm, is airing every night this week. You can see it at 9 p.m. every night through Thursday, and on Friday, April 27th, Faces of the Storm will air immediately following WVUA News at 6. This special presentation is a look at the people impacted by the storm and their stories of loss, survival, and hope. Faces of the Storm is brought to you commercially.